Scott, for all of the action that is to come.
I thought you said the finals in KD, that was just last week?
That's what it felt like.
Oh,
Even
my
as I was saying, that was last week only. Are you surprised, though? Let's start with Kawhi Leonard. Okay. Surprised by these reports that are surfacing out of San Antonio?
Somewhat surprised because we actually haven't heard from Kawhi directly. From his people, his agent, whatever you want to call that. But now we know it's out there. Was some rumblings at the end of the year, obviously going through the injury, and not hearing anything from Kawhi. That's one the biggest surprise for me, Kristen, knowing that he's a superstar, he's an MVP type guy. And this is the San Antonio Spurs we're talking about. And we saw how Pop handled LaMarcus Aldridge the previous year. So I'm thinking Pop will be Pop and figure out a way to talk to Kawhi. But wait a minute. Like we've talked about, he hasn't talked to Kawhi. So how can you get on common grounds with no communication?
You have to have a meeting.
There you go.
So he'll be a free agent next summer, but where do you think that he logically ends up in these coming weeks?
Well, if you listen to Kawhi, if you listen to all these reports and the rumors, he wants to go back to L.A. where he's from, which most people think.
But it's not just up to him.
Exactly, and that's why I say Pop's going to be Pop. He's not going to send you right back where you want to go. He's going to do the best thing for the Spurs. Oh, wait a minute. There's Ingram, there's Kuzma, there's Ball, there's a draft pick possibly. So there are some situations where there's enough there where Pop will say, give me all your young talent, and then I'll give you Kawhi. But then again, I think Pop's going to be Pop and figure out a way to keep the claw in the Spurs organization.
Pop has also always been very vocal about not helping another Western Conference team.
So I don't see him going to the Western Conference. I see him going somewhere else unless Pop can get the pieces he needs to feel comfortable.
How about LeBron James?
Well,
he could be anywhere. Do you think he could possibly be joining Kawhi?
I remember right before the playoffs started, a few people had mentioned that, hey, Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James could be connected to the hip. It sounds good, but the only way that works, LeBron has to play the 4. And then so Kawhi can play the 3. Now, is LeBron ready to change his game in year 16, people? So all these rumors sound nice. We're going to have fun with it in the next segment. But the bottom line is, depending on where LeBron decides to go, is he ready to change his game? Because it's hard to put all those guys together and they play the same position.
How, though, does a guy like LeBron James, a once-in-a-generation talent, how does he go about making a decision like this?
It's real simple, Kristen. It's about winning. Any decision he makes, it's about going to his what? 9th finals in a row. Can we say that again? So all you LeBron fans, it's real simple. As we sit back and we wait, and LeBron, can you make your decision a little sooner than later so we get on with our lives this summer, please, LeBron? Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Brian. And don't do it on 4th of July, on 3rd of July in the middle of the night. Don't do it there because we got families and all the, the fireworks and stuff.
If you care.
Thank you. But at the end of the day, Kristen, it's literally that serious. Wherever he decides to go, he and the general manager, along with Rich Paul, they're going to say, we have at least 2 or 3 superstars with LeBron.
Who wants to win now? Let's start in the Eastern Conference.
That's the key word, is now. We know all the sweepstakes from LeBron, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, but these teams, if you're going after one of those 3 guys, you're ready to win now. So the Boston Celtics Eastern Conference, you get a healthy Kyrie, you had a healthy Gordon Hayward. Obviously, Tatum and Brown took it to the next level, Rozier. But wait a minute. A couple of those guys may be gone if you bring in a LeBron James and a Paul George possibly, or Kawhi Leonard. But I know Danny Ainge, if he makes a move like that, Kristen, he's ready to win now. And don't forget, Al Horford, he's coming up for a new deal too. So a lot of things going on. The Cavs, Kristen, and you people at home, I have to put them on the list. Why? Because LeBron's legacy. He could easily stay in Cleveland. You still have Kevin Love. Maybe you move J.R. Smith. Maybe you move George Hill. Now you pick up your phone and say, hey, PG, I'm staying in Cleveland. Cleveland's not a bad place to live during the season. And in the summertime, it's not bad at all. We got lakes and fun things, and we're trying to get rings. Now, this one right here, I'm saying to myself, LeBron, if you stay home and if you go to Philadelphia, do you want to give the ball up? Are you ready to change your game? Because how do you and Ben Simmons stay on the floor together? Because if you have the pick and roll when you're in ISO, Ben Simmons' man's going to stay in the paint because he's a liability on the offensive end. Are you ready to feed Embiid down low? So, but if you make the move, you're for real. Now, Nick Nurse, I love him. I think he's ready for the job. The question is, are you ready to push the right buttons with the Raptors? The backcourt, Lowry, I love him to death. You got to step your game up. DeRozan, I thought you got better. You added the 3 ball to your game, but need a little bit more. Is the bench strong enough? But I go back to the coach, Kristen. it's all about Nick Nurse. How do you get these guys motivated to understand if LeBron leaves or stays, you have to be ready? Now, threw the Miami Heat in there because obviously D-Wade. It was an easy one. But you say to yourself, does Whiteside stay there? You still have the Dragon. One thing we know about Pat Riley, this theme is now. Can you pick up the phone and say, hey, LeBron, hey, that conversation we had a couple years ago, let's make up a little bit. Come on back to South Beach. You can get your old house back. You finally, I don't know if he sold that house or not yet. But the bottom line is, all 4 or 5 of those general managers, if they make that phone call, they're trying to win now.
If you're LeBron James, though, do you logically go to another Eastern Conference team? Is anyone more poised to win a championship right now than what he already has in Cleveland?
Me personally, if you stay in the Eastern Conference, that is your easy way to get back to your 9th finals. If you go to the West, the Rockets, Warriors, there's so many teams now that are smacking you on your back door saying, hey, we're ready for you.
Western Conference, then. You mentioned the Rockets. Who's ready to win now?
Well, the Rockets, we know one thing about Daryl Morey. He's going to make the right move. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, maybe Game 7 is different in Houston, okay? So now, LeBron, hey, this is Chris Paul. You know that one-on-one James Harden's done is pretty cool. I've been working on my three-point shot. The coach said we're playing better defense. We're going to take turns playing one-on-one. I don't know if LeBron wants that, Kristen, but that is the system in Houston.
It could add some years back to those legs, though.
And that's the bigger question. Are you ready to give it up? Give the ball up, for that matter. And now, last, but
Lakers, you think,
least,
right?
Well,
not quite least.
Well, you're asking yourself, can Kawhi Leonard and LeBron both go to the Lakers? Could they? Could that work? Once again,
it's logistically possible.
Logistically possible, but with both guys on the floor, Ingram has to be gone, Kuzma has to be gone, Ball has to be gone. So how do you keep the young talent? So Lakers, I don't know if that works. And OKC, if you're serious, you're going to Paul George and saying, Paul, whatever you need, whatever mom needs, whatever dad needs, we know you love fishing, we'll find some new ponds, some new lakes, whatever, you have to stay. If OK's serious about winning now, I'm sure Carmelo will opt in, and I think they'll have a chance. And then the Spurs, like you talked about in the last block, Kristen, I just don't see Pop giving up right away. Obviously, they have to get lines of communication open, but I just don't see it happening right now. And I know all season long it's been funky in Spurs land, but right there, LaMarcus Aldridge proved that once lines of communication open, we can kind of fix it. And I just don't believe Pop's going to give up real easy before he lets Kawhi Leonard walk anywhere, people, anywhere. That's what I think.
That's right. LaMarcus was all but ready to head out of San Antonio, and now he's all in. How about then the top 5 players on the move this summer?
We can start with the obvious first.
Sure.
That guy.
LeBron James.
No, what?
Kawhi
it's the
Leonard.
new now.
Okay, yeah,
it's
that's
new.
true.
It was LeBron until Kawhi said, hold on. Did Kawhi say it or did his people say it?
Yeah, you knew. Okay, Pop.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying now? Because that's what makes this thing a little dicey, because Kawhi is so quiet. Until I hear Kawhi, somebody say, I want to go, I don't believe it. LeBron James has made it very clear. I'm testing the waters. I've earned another opportunity to go out there in free agency. I'm LeBron James, and I want to go to my 9th consecutive finals, so I want to make sure I have an opportunity to pick this team where I want to go. And then PG, man, honestly, Kristen, you people at home, I think his decision may be the toughest.
Really?
Because he's a little bit younger than LeBron. So if you go with LeBron's about to be 34 next year. You're only, 28, 29. So now, do you want to be the man, or do you want to blend with somebody? I had to throw my big fella in there, Derek Favors, Georgia Tech. I think he's going to stay. I think someone may entice him a little bit with a little bit more money, but obviously staying in Utah, you get the extra year. They love you there. Your family loves in Utah. Quinn Snyder's done an excellent job making his game get right, and the knee's finally healthy. Now, DeAndre, I don't know. I think the Clippers did an excellent job giving Doc his extension. I know the relationship between Doc and DeAndre are really, really good. But I don't know if DeAndre may say, you know what, Blake's gone, CP3's gone. Maybe it's time for me to say, see you, L.A.
I miss
maybe he might be time to say, see you, L.A. I don't know.
That's right. last week. It's been a wild, rumor-filled 8 days since Kevin Durant was named Finals MVP again, this time in a sweep over the Cavaliers. So almost immediately, the LeBron James rumor mill began. Will he retire in Cleveland? Will he head out west, make a return to South Beach? Your guess is probably as good as mine. But then on Friday, reports surfaced that Spurs All-Star Kawhi Leanord wants out of San Antonio and would prefer a trade to the Lakers. So for more on what could possibly happen in La La Land, we welcome in Tanya Ganguly of the LA Times. Tanya, do you see the Lakers trading assets to acquire Kawhi this summer, or potentially waiting to pursue him once he's a free agent?
I think that what you just said really factors into this. There is the understanding of the building that he's going to become a free agent next summer, so you may not want to give up too much, depending on what else the options are. I mean, the Lakers have put themselves in a position where they can be very flexible, and so they've really taken their stance this summer has been to stay open to all options. So one thing they're going to need to know is, how healthy is he? Is this quad injury going to be something that lingers? But if they feel comfortable with that and they know that they can build the super team that they've been talking about building, if they know that they can do that this year and that trading for Kawhi will be a big part of that, they'd definitely be willing to give up assets.
Okay, you said it. The super team they've been talking about building. Is there a way that the Lakers could get Kawhi, LeBron, and either Paul George or Chris Paul this summer?
I would be shocked if Chris Paul was an option right now. I mean, I know in the past he'd been interested in that, but I just don't see that happening this year. But if they can get rid of Luol Deng's contract, they will, and depending on how a trade for Kawhi would work, I mean, there is a possibility. I mean, it's not impossible that they could create a team with LeBron, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard.
Well, we've also seen rumors of a potential Lonzo Ball trade. Could you describe his relationship with the franchise now?
I think that his relationship with the franchise, his relationship is less complicated than the franchise's relationship with the whole package, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. When he's by himself, when he's with the organization, they liked him. They want him to get a little stronger, and they want his body to be able to handle injuries better. I mean, there's that aspect of it, but he's not a bad locker room guy. He's been a good, they like his talent. They like what he can do. They were so excited about selecting him second overall last year, and they called him the face of the franchise. I think that I'm not going to say it's impossible that they would trade him, but I don't know that they would be looking to do that. And I'd frankly be surprised. I mean, if there was a deal for Kawhi, I would be a little bit surprised if Lonzo was part of that, unless maybe there was another team involved. But I think in order to in order to trade him, they would have to be blown away by something.
How about Julius Randle? Do you know yet what the future looks like for him as a free agent?
Well, that's tough. I mean, I wrote a story a few weeks ago where his agent, Aaron Mintz, who also represents Paul George, told me that he doesn't know what the Lakers' priorities are with Julius, or if he's a priority. So, I think that when you're talking about Julius' situation, it's also a very fluid situation, because they might need that money to spend on some of these superstars that they've been talking about. But they also really like him, and they really like what he was able to do this year. Luke Walton has talked about how he wants Julius back next year. It's just going to depend on what kind of money he garners in the market, because he's a restricted free agent, and what else the Lakers are going to want to do.
You also wrote recently that no Laker is untouchable. Is that still the case?
Yeah, that's still true. I think the reason that I thought that was so interesting is because last year they really talked about Brandon Ingram as being an untouchable player. They wouldn't trade him no matter what. But this year they're really trying to keep an open mind, and they're trying to, if there are opportunities that come up, they're not going to close the door to them. And I know that there are some young guys that play for the Lakers that are wondering if they're going to still be here, what the team's going to look like. But yeah, as far as I know, there are no untouchables on the Lakers right now.
You guys can find Tanya's Lakers coverage in the LA Times and can follow her on Twitter at Tanya Ganguly. Thanks.